The Magna Carta, Latin for Great Charter, is a historic document that played a pivotal role in shaping the rule of law and laying the foundations for constitutional governance. Sealed by King John of England on June 15, 1215, at Runnymede, the Magna Carta was a response to the oppressive rule and heavy taxation imposed by the king. It is considered a landmark in the development of constitutional principles and individual liberties. Context and background. King John's reign, 1199 to 1216, was marked by financial exactions, military failures, and arbitrary governance, leading to discontent among nobles and barons. Taxation and abuses. Heavy taxation and abuses of royal power prompted widespread dissatisfaction among the barons and clergy. The Great Charter's principles, limiting royal authority. The Magna Carta sought to limit the absolute power of the king by establishing certain fundamental principles of governance. Protection of liberties. It emphasized the protection of individual liberties, especially those of the barons and church, against arbitrary rule. Key provisions. Due process of law. The Magna Carta introduced the principle of due process of law, ensuring that no free man could be punished except through the lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. Habeas corpus. It laid the groundwork for the concept of habeas corpus, protecting individuals from arbitrary arrest and imprisonment without legal justification. Taxation by consent. The charter required the king to obtain the consent of his barons before imposing new taxes, establishing the principle of no taxation without representation. Protection of widows and heirs. Provisions were made to protect the inheritance rights of widows and heirs, preventing the crown from seizing estates. Universal principles. Universality of application. While initially intended to address the concerns of the barons, the principles of the Magna Carta became foundational for broader legal concepts applicable to all free individuals. Enduring legacy. Rule of law. The Magna Carta laid the groundwork for the development of the rule of law, emphasizing that even the king was subject to legal constraints. Constitutionalism. It contributed to the development of constitutionalism by establishing the idea that certain principles and rights were fundamental to the governance of a nation. Individual liberties. The Magna Carta played a significant role in shaping the concept of individual liberties and the protection of personal freedoms against arbitrary government action. Influence on subsequent documents. Legal precedent. The Magna Carta served as a legal precedent for subsequent documents and charters, including the English Bill of Rights, 1689, and the United States Constitution. Inspiration. Globally, its principles have inspired constitutional developments around the world, influencing legal and political thought on the protection of individual rights. Symbolic importance. Symbol of justice. The Magna Carta has become a symbol of justice and the struggle against tyranny. It is often cited in discussions about the rights and responsibilities of governments. Contemporary relevance. Human rights. The principles embedded in the Magna Carta continue to resonate in modern discussions about human rights, constitutional governance, and the role of law in society. Renewed confirmations and reissues. Over the centuries, the Magna Carta was reissued and confirmed by subsequent English monarchs. While the specific clauses evolved, the core principles of limiting royal authority and protecting individual rights persisted. Confirmation by Edward I, 1297. Edward I's confirmation of the Magna Carta in 1297, also known as the Confirmation of Charters, established the document as a cornerstone of English law. It emphasized that the king was subject to the law and needed the consent of the realm for certain actions. Development of the common law. The Magna Carta played a role in the development of English common law. It became a foundational document referenced in legal arguments and court decisions, contributing to the evolving body of law that applied to all subjects. Role in the English Civil War, 17th century. During the English Civil War in the 17th century, both parliamentarians and royalists claimed the Magna Carta as a symbol of their cause. The conflict ultimately led to the temporary establishment of a republic, the Commonwealth of England. Influence on constitutional documents. The Magna Carta's principles influenced subsequent constitutional documents, including the Petition of Right, 1628, the Habeas Corpus Act, 1679, and the English Bill of Rights, 1689. which further solidified the principles of limited government and individual liberties. Colonial America and the United States, the ideas in the Magna Carta significantly influenced the political thought of the American founding fathers. Concepts such as the protection of property, due process, and limitations on executive power found expression in the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. International recognition. The Magna Carta has been recognized internationally as a foundational document for the protection of human rights. It influenced the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, and is often cited in discussions about the rule of law and individual freedoms. 800th Anniversary Celebrations, 2015. In 2015, the Magna Carta celebrated its 800th anniversary. Events and commemorations took place around the world, highlighting its enduring significance and influence on legal and political thought. Educational symbolism. The Magna Carta has become an educational symbol, representing principles of justice, accountability, and the rule of law. Copies of the document are displayed in museums and institutions worldwide. Ongoing legal debates. The Magna Carta continues to be referenced in legal debates and court cases. While many of its specific provisions have been superseded by subsequent laws, its foundational principles remain relevant in discussions about constitutional governance and individual rights. Legacy in global constitutionalism. Beyond its impact on English and American legal traditions, the Magna Carta has left an indelible mark on global constitutionalism. Its principles have influenced the development of legal systems and constitutional documents in many countries. Challenges and criticisms. While lauded for its foundational principles, the Magna Carta has faced criticism for its limitations, particularly in terms of its applicability to a select group of elites. Nevertheless, its enduring legacy lies in the evolution of its principles and their broader embrace over time. The Magna Carta, born out of a medieval struggle for rights and liberties, continues to resonate in the modern world as a symbol of the enduring quest for justice, the rule of law, and the protection of individual freedoms against arbitrary power. Its journey from a medieval charter to a global icon reflects the timeless aspiration for a just and accountable governance.